Hey everyone, Mr. Overon here with Mr. Overon's Tarot Reading Services. And today I wanted to talk about sage alternatives. There's a lot of people within the crafting community, the witch community, whatever you want to call it, that labor under this idea that utilizing sage is a closed practice and that you're not supposed to use it because it's only supposed to be for Native Americans and very few, other kind of spiritual practitioners. I appreciate the sentiment that comes from. However, there's very few closed loop systems in witchcraft or whatever you want to call it. We'll just for the remainder of this video, we're just going to call it witchcraft, straight up, like across the board. This is going to cover Satanism, vampirism, all of the isms, Wicca, and witchcraft, everything. So when it does come to closed practices, voodoo and things like Santa Paula, Santeria, things like that, those are closed loop practices that are specific to those persons. Can a white person practice voodoo? Yes, 100% you can, with a small little caveat there. Or actually, it's a pretty large caveat. If you are this skin toned, you have to really be indoctrinated into voodoo, voodoo, hoodoo, and things like that, because that is a specific spiritual practice that is native to those persons of African and Haitian descent. So, you are calling on gods, goddesses, spirits, energies that predate Christianity, that predate 99.9% of the world. And because you are light-skinned, you look like Master. And so why is the Loa going to do anything for a light-skinned person? I have a good understanding of voodoo. I work closely with Papa Legba. I work closely with Shanto, and there's just a couple that I work with, and I have a healthy respect. Like, I go to specific voodoo gods in almost a complete humble humility. Like, I am sorry for bothering you, sir, but I need XYZ done. And Papa Legba is the keeper of the crossroads. No magic, no nothing is done without his permission, and he's basically the voodoo devil. Like, he will do things for you, but there is a return that is expected. And, anyways, getting past that. So a lot of people like to say that there's closed loop system, or there's closed systems that you don't have access to. And, through cultural appropriation or whatever else, whatever hot topic button you want to use. Um, yes, there are some, but that being said, you can work within those systems if you are called to them, if you are called by them. And even then, you have to have an air of respect. So, um, if you feel burning sage works for you, awesome. If you don't feel like burning sage is for you, awesome. Keep it moving. Some um some alternatives that you can use are things like mint wands. This is one that a friend made for me, and it is it's beautiful smelling, but it's mint and juniper, and it's wrapped up. This could be an alternative. It doesn't have the same properties as utilizing sage, but the other properties that you need to look at are the herbal magical properties of mint and of juniper and of I don't know what else she added in here. I think it was basil and rosemary. But when you are making your own like alternative methods, that is perfect. Something else you could do is um, Santa Palo, and that is just this is becoming a little bit more popular, even though this comes from Latin America and those Latinx traditions. But they're these pieces of fragrant wood that you can do one of two ways. You can shave a little bit of it off and burn it on a charcoal disket, or you can just light it directly, let it burn, and go through the house and smudge with this like you would sage. Um, I personally love using Palo Santo because not only is it cheap and easy to find, well, I mean, sage nowadays is cheap and easy, somewhat easy to find. It's not really cheap anymore. Like, you're paying upwards of almost $10 for a bundle of it. But anyways, um, but it lights really, really easily well. And I like to just keep my lighter on it for just a few moments. And then, so working with this, you get a nice smoke from it. So you actually are utilizing three of the four elements. You have earth, fire, and air all working together. And it does take a little while to get used to. It is a very strong, kind of earthy, woodsy, pungent smell. It does not have the same kind of minty, um, marijuana-esque smell that sage does. But once you get it going, you see that it gets going really, really well. You got that wonderful smoke. And this is a very good alternative to utilizing sage. I'm going to be kind of bougie here for a second. But just doing this little bit right here, walking through your house, I have an actual fanner that I use, but I don't have it on camera and I don't feel like getting up to go get it, honestly. But the same things that you would use this for, you is the same things that you could use sage for. Um, I per I personally believe that this is not as powerful as sage, but that it will work in a pinch. The other thing that I like about this is because it is a hard wood, you are making charcoal at the same time. So when this is extinguished, you can actually use this for writing magical sigils. So I'm going to extinguish this right now, and we'll look at that. So this is just my little desk cauldron, and I keep all of my ashes in this. And that's something else that you may want to do is keep your ashes, because you can turn around and use them for making black salt. Use your ashes for making black salt only if they are the ashes of things that you have used for like blessing or protection or just regular incense to lighten the mood in your house or whatever else. If you have ashes of spells that you have burnt in your cauldron or whatever that are like maybe binding or banishing or whatever else, well, those would work, I guess. But you want your ashes to be pure. So if you've done any kind of malice bane work, don't use those ashes. But I always save my ashes for black salt. So now, if I can get a single piece of paper out of my printer, now you can sit here and draw your sigils and stuff. So not only are you using something spiritually powerful, but now you can write with it as well. And having a kind of a 2-in-1 type of a situation is pretty freaking amazing, because if you've blessed, you don't have to bless the Palo Santo, because its name is holy wood, or sacred wood, but you can imbue it with your own energy, your own power, or whatever, and then use it for writing out your spell sigils and what have you. And now you've got that going on for you. So, look into Palo Santo. Look into making your own herbal wand, your own herbal wands like this. I have sprigs of dried out rosemary that I like to burn. For something like this, I just stick it into. I have a pot with some soil in it, and I just stick this in there, and then I light the top and let it go, and burn the whole thing down, and it gives off a really strong kind of nice woody rosemary smell. So yeah, just a couple of things to give you ideas. If you are not able to get Palo Santo, or you really don't know herbology that well, the next thing you can do is go get yourself some cone incense. This is from Walmart, and it's dragon blood. This is Walmart? Yeah, main stage. You could do the same thing with this. You're going to have to put more of protection and blessing on something like this, but you could drop a couple of drops of essential oils on it that align with what you are looking for. And the essential oils don't have to be anything grandeur. They don't have to be anything like super expensive or organic or any like other little label that may be thrown on them. I mean, does it help? Absolutely not. Honestly, we're just going to be straight up pure, like purely honest here. It does not fucking matter if you're got 100% organic, fair trade, whatever oils. And I don't think that there's much of a difference between, when using it spiritually anyways, between essential oils and fragrant oils. The only caveat between the two is that the essential oils are going to be more of what you are looking for. So like this right here is 100% pure and natural essential sweet orange oil. Believe it or not, I got this at the Dollar Tree. It was $1.25. So if I took this and dropped it on, like one drop onto the cone and like used that in my home, it would work. I would just say something like, some kind of basic protection spell, some kind of basic whatever it was that you were looking for to rid your house of, all negative energies that are within this home that were not invited or that have latched onto me or my family, or that item that I bought from the thrift store. You are not welcome here. You now need to kick rocks, whatever it is that you want to say. But if you feel really strongly about, using sage, there's other options and alternatives, but do not let the social sphere of like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whoever, tell you that you cannot use something because it's closed looped. Also be mindful of the of people who are like, it's all about your intention. Doesn't matter what else you do. It's your intention, your intention, your intention. That is absolute bullshit. That is like handing a loaded gun to a toddler. You are going to get yourself hurt. You need to know your basic foundations, and you need to know, like, it has to be more than just intention. And there's going to be there's a whole other video about that I can make. And I think that I have made some in the past, but I just wanted to kind of go over this really quickly with you because I got onto Facebook earlier and there was a shit ton of people like, oh my God, you can't use sage. You can't use sage. Like, get on your broom and fly somewhere else with that bullshit. So, anyways, guys, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put them in the comment section down below. And if you need to reach out to me, you can do so through here or by heading on over to my website, mroveron.com. That's MROVERON.com. Talk to y'all later. Bye, witches.